This is the most requested video of all times. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Ishita aka the Stunning Medico, and this is the most requested video of all times, my journey. So let's talk about my journey. So I wanted to become a doctor since I was very young. This is the only thing I wanted to do ever. I was 6 when I decided that this is something that I want to do. So what influenced this decision was that when I was very young, my mom used to read me books when I used to go to sleep. So she didn't used to read me storybooks. She usually used to read me science books, encyclopedias and all kinds of science. And one time I remember she read me this book about first aid, and I was just in love with it, and I used to tell my mom to read it to me again and again and again and again, because the human body intrigued my young mind so much. So I loved biology. I mean, I still do, but I was never very good at it. I was never very good at remembering or memorizing stuff, which was a huge setback for me in this field. But nevertheless, it was my first love, so I decided to become a doctor anyway. So I joined Aakash Institute in class 9. It was a foundation course, and now you'll be thinking, oh my god, it's a 9th class se NEET ki preparation kari hai, which is not like that. The foundation course is like normal tuition only for school, but it helps you to build your foundations. That's why it's called a foundation course, and helps you to clear your concepts so that you can score really nice in Olympiads like NTSE, JSTSE and stuff like that. So a little about Aakash Institute. I loved Aakash when I was in class 9th. It was like the teachers were amazing and they taught very nicely. Like they cleared all of my concepts, all of my doubts and everything. They guided me, they motivated me, they inspired me, they taught me to be actually a better person. And to be honest, it'll sound a little nerdy, but Aakash Institute had become my favorite place to go when I was in class 9th. So the class strength was about 40-50 students, and there used to be fortnightly test. There used to be MCQ pattern test for Olympiads, as well as written tests to help you in school exams. So overall, my performance was really going good. Like I was a topper, one of the toppers in Aakash as well as in my school. So like everything was going very nicely and very smoothly in class 9th and 10th. So after 10th, boards over ho gaye, so it was time to choose my subjects for class 11. So I obviously chose medical. My subjects were physics, chemistry, maths and biology. Now most people think, why are you taking maths when you are opting for medical? And the reason for this is I loved maths. I just loved maths. I still do. It was one of my favorite subjects, and bidding goodbye to it or farewell to it was like for me too soon. I didn't want to do it. I still wanted to do it further. Nevertheless, people obviously told me that it is also going to help me in physics, which is very, very true. But that shouldn't be your sole reason for taking maths. Take maths if you want to take maths, if you love maths. Don't take it because you think that will help you in physics. There are plenty other ways to improve your physics, but taking maths just because of that is not advisable. It'll just become a burden on you. But for me, I took maths because I love maths. It was like a relief subject. Like bio was all so much memorization and everything, and you have to remember stuff. There was a lot to memorize, and so maths gave me a relief. It helped me kind of like detox, you can say. So my maths was obviously very good, and that's why my physics was also very good. My biology, which was my favorite subject, was the weakest subject. So in class 11th I continued with Aakash, thinking that it'll be, my happy place like it was in class 9th and 10th, but I was hugely mistaken. So in Aakash class 11th I was in the weekday batch. The weekday batch meant classes were Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days a week. Also I was a school attending student. So now most of the thing is school to sabhi jate hain, but it's not always the case. When you join coachings for exclusively for preparation of NEET or JEE, you'll realize that half of the students are enrolled in a dummy school and they don't go to an actual attending school which starts from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. They don't go to that place. They just enroll in a dummy school, so they have to either attend just the tests in the school or the final semester exam of the school, but they don't go to school regularly. So that was not the case for me. I was a regular school attending student. So my day started at like 6 a.m. in the morning to get ready for school and then go to school and then come back from school by 3 p.m. and my weekday classes used to start at around 4 p.m. So I would just come home, just eat lunch in in a hurry and then rush to my coaching and then come back from coaching at around 8 p.m. and then 8 to 9 would be my leisure time or like eating dinner and stuff like that, and then 9 p.m. onwards I had to go back to revising things that have been taught in the coaching, as well as doing school homework and practical work and stuff like that, and that would take me around 3-4 hours more, and so it would be 12 a.m. in the night, and then I would just go back to school and repeat. So like it was horrible. It was really hectic and really tough because school course and my coaching course were going parallel, because like school may they started the curriculum from the end sections, whereas in Aakash they started from the beginning, so there was no commonality between both the courses, as well as it was tough because the tests due in my school were not coinciding with the tests in my coaching, and it was very hectic for me. And to be honest, I hated my coaching. I hated every moment I spent there. I just hated it because like the class strength was around 90 to 100, and since most of the students in my class were of dummy, so they would come to the class and occupy the front benches from like 2:30 p.m. only, and we like the attending students would come would just manage to come to the class by at least 4 p.m. and so the only seats available to us were the back benches, where it's you can't see what is going on in the class, you can't hear what is going on in the class. It was like, and the space was so less, it was almost like we were sitting on top of each other's. Not to mention the tests and the competition and the jealousy and the betrayal that was going on, because it was a rat race. Everybody wanted to score the best. Everybody was in the competition, and like that was the first time I realized that none of my batchmates are going to be my friends. They are just going to be competitors. So if you are in a coaching institute, I can tell you, don't think of them as your friends. They are not your friends. One moment they get to kind of like step on you or get ahead of you, they will take it, because that's how tough the competition for this entrance exam is. So don't consider them as your friends. Consider them just as your acquaintances with whom you are in a competition. Now about the faculty in Aakash, some of the faculty, our physics teacher was good, our zoology teacher and a botany teacher was good, but our chemistry teacher sucked. Our chemistry teacher was so horrible. Like he would just come to the class, waste our time, and then he would say, the syllabus is done. And that was such a huge headache. My chemistry faculty at my school was also really bad, and so was in my coaching. So I was very helpless. I couldn't understand a single thing in chemistry, and slowly I started to dread chemistry because it had become something that I was so scared of. I did not want to open my books, so I struggled with chemistry a lot. Anyway, till the time I actually learned to manage my school curriculum with my Aakash curriculum, with everything, and started to get a grasp of things. Class 11th was over. So it was time to go to class 12th. So class 12 beginning was smooth because I had gotten a grasp of things about how to manage and what to do with the time management stuff. But finally, in the middle of class 12, I decided to stop going to coaching because it was getting too much for me. I couldn't handle the stress. Moreover, board exam was over my head, so like all the teachers in my school and my dad especially were like, ho gaya fir syllabus, is the syllabus done, have you started revising, and like I was tired telling them that I have not even covered the syllabus. I don't even know what the syllabus is, let alone covering and revising it. But again, my dad was like, board exam, is just, it's a once in a lifetime thing, and like you have to score good marks in boards, otherwise, what will people think, and how Indian dads are. So it was getting difficult, that I was doing everything in my own pace, whereas in the school the syllabus was over in class 12th, and in my coaching they had started revision for class 11th again. So, and I was just reading things for the first time. So like I decided that I had to quit coaching in class 12 because it was not at all manageable. So obviously I focused more on my board exam, and then the board exam happened and I scored 92%. So the boards were over around March end, and now just 1 month, just the month of April was remaining for me to prepare for my NEET exam. So I took out all the study material that I had, of my mock tests, of my coaching modules, and every fortnightly test and everything that I had given ever. Also looking online for more mock tests that are available free of cost, and just started going through them. I had a book which had a previous year NEET question papers, full syllabus, started going through them, and when I did, I realized I could score only between 250 to 300. So like it was like I gave whatever I had, but I was still able to score between 250 to 300 in the self-assessment tests. And I remember my dad was yelling at me saying, you are not focusing, and like you are not giving enough, like why can't you score 600? And I don't know, I just gave in everything I have, but my good was not good enough. And so the exam happened and I scored 375 marks. So obviously 375 marks you don't get admission anywhere except private colleges again, but we couldn't afford private colleges. So my parents asked me what should be my next course of action, and I decided that I wanted to give this another try. I decided to give it another try, obviously because this is something I all the time I wanted to do. But besides that, I realized that the main reason I failed this year was because I couldn't manage school studies along with my coaching. So if the school element is removed, I might be able to focus totally and score better. So it was a risk worth taking. So I tried studying on my own, but soon I realized that this was something not for me. I lacked the self-discipline that it required, and also the doubts that needed to be solved, because the main reason I couldn't score was because my concepts were not clear. So I decided to join a coaching institute. So I joined coaching institute called Saket Future Edge. It's very close to my home. So it was very feasible for me to commute as well. Though I joined this coaching for all the subjects, but the our physics teacher was amazing. Like, he cleared all of my doubts from the scratch. Like, his notes were like gold to me. Like, he started teaching everything from the very budding stage of the studies, and it just helped me a lot. The notes I made then were the only reason I was able to score 160 in physics in the first place. So basically this coaching was a lifesaver for me. So in my first attempt, when I had scored 375, I had scored around 80 marks in physics. So obviously it was not that good. So I really wanted to improve my physics, because like most people say like ki, the most common reason for not getting selected is because your physics is weak for medical students. So I really didn't want it to be the reason why I was not able to do medical. So, and physics was obviously my favorite subject, so I decided to improve my physics. And our teacher had suggested on the very first day that if you want to improve your physics, you have to start doing 30 questions daily. And I took that to my heart. I did 30 questions every day. Matlab, like even on days on which I was doing physics, even on days when I was completely doing chemistry or biology, even on days when I had family functions, my periods, I was sick, any day I still somehow managed to do 30 questions in physics daily. So then mock tests started, and my score started to improve. I started scoring around 300 to 400. Obviously it was less because I started to think 375 though I scored last year. So if even after a drop I'm able to score just 300 to 400, it is not going to be a pretty picture. The drop year was a very stressful time. It was very stressful. Like I don't think the study part was that difficult. It was not. The other environmental factors were so much more stressful, like the nasty comments and the taunts that people gave, even getting jealousy, looking at your friends that they have crossed this phase and they have just gone to their college, enjoying their fests. And most people would keep on telling me to that I was wasting a year and that I should give up, and that there's no point wasting a whole year just to give this exam. So I think most common reason for these kind of comments are because like most people don't understand the concept of a drop year. They think that I have not gotten admission because I scored less in boards, or like I was just plain dumb or like I couldn't get any course in any subject of any college, or like I should just take up a private medical college, as if that shit is affordable. So jo bhi, it was like very stressful dealing with the unnecessary unsolicited advices of the people. Nevertheless, people telling me that if I was smart enough I could have just done it in the first attempt like most toppers do. To get rid of that stress, I decided to join a gym. So my dad was totally against it. He was saying like, you are wasting your time. I'm like, दिन में 1 घंटे के लिए gym करूँगी तो क्या ही हो जाएगा, right? As if like you're studying 24 hours a day. It's not like that, right? You study maximum for 8-9 hours, बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया तो 10 hours. So rest of the time is available to you. So I cut off from a lot of people. Not because they were toxic or anything, but because I was the one who was extremely jealous of their success, because they were enjoying their college life, whereas I was at home studying the same old subjects as I did in class 11th and 12th. And I was extremely jealous. I was extremely annoyed, frustrated. Any negative word of this genre, I was feeling it. So then NEET came around the corner, and just before NEET I had a huge breakdown. I realized that in all the mock tests I was able to score 450 at the maximum. My score was not improving beyond 450, and I couldn't figure out a way to improve my score. And I was scared. I was really scared, because I had scored 375 the previous year, and if I'm only able to make an improvement of around 50-60 marks after a whole year dedicatedly studying for this, I would be extremely ashamed of myself. I am so thankful to my mom. Like, she was with me through all of my breakdowns. Like, she would calm me down. She would be like, it's going to be okay, because like I am a person who gets stressed out really quickly. So like my mom was always by my side. She used to occasionally take me out for a walk, for a stroll, and like to take my mind off things. She would if I would score good, she would like give me prepare something really delicious for me to eat as a reward thing. So like she is my life. She's my pearl. Anyway, I gave NEET 2019, and after giving it, I realized that I had bombed it. I knew that I was not going to make it. And like when I calculated the score, it came out to be around 500. I was happy because I was definitely expecting less. I was expecting that I would score around 450 at the max. But a score of 500 was pretty, good for me. Then the final results came in and I scored 513. So even though I was extremely proud of myself that I had made a huge improvement from 375 to 513, and I knew that in my heart that I had given everything that it takes, but still good is not good enough, and I knew that at 513 I would get nowhere. So now all the relatives that had told me and my parents to not let me take this job, or to or my friends who had told me to give up or not pursue this, or like that I had wasted a year, had a huge told you so looks on their face. They were like, humne to pehle hi kaha tha, we told you so. And my dad was extremely disappointed. He was very upset, which kind of broke my heart. So what to do now? Like, what should be my next course of action? So as usual, I went to my mom, my guide, my mentor, my everything. I went to her and I asked her, what should I do? And she said, whatever you want, and by want I mean whatever you really desire, I'm going to support you no matter what. And however lovely that sounds, I said, please give me your opinion, please tell me what you think about it. And she just looked at me and she said, I can't make a decision for you, but you should know that nothing worth having comes easy. So I was already considering a second drop, but this was a huge challenge for me because I had to convince my dad to give me another chance, and he was already very upset and disappointed at me for not being able to do it despite having a whole year to prepare exclusively for this exam. So it was a task convincing him, but I just went to him and said that this is not just an exam for me. This will open the door to the life that I want to live. I really want to be a doctor. This is not something that I want, or it's not just a fantasy or something. This is what I want to make my reality. I need this. So finally, obviously, he got convinced. He said, fine, but this is the last chance I'm giving you, and you better make good use of it. So now I had to study all over again for the same things, and that was a huge task for me. It was very difficult again. So I joined a coaching institute. So this time I joined VMC Vidya Mandir classes. It is also kind of like near to my house, so I joined it. I started studying, and I was feeling a bit confident because I was scoring between 500 to 600 in the mock tests. So I was a little confident about myself. I joined the coaching, but I used to skip most of the teaching classes. I used to go only for the tests. Why I used to skip was like I had my concepts cleared the previous year only. My problem was memorization and practice, which I lacked the previous year. So I just went to give the tests and everything and check my score, and I used to study at my home on my own. Occasionally I would go to their classes and attend some classes, but mostly I was studying on my own. Then I think around May or August I got really sick. I got food poisoning and I was admitted in the hospital, so for a week. So there was a break for about a week or two from studies, and when I got well again, it was very difficult for me to again get back on the horse and get back into the routine of study. Nevertheless, I worked really hard and I managed to overcome that setback. Things were going good. By good, I don't mean that I was enjoying it. It was miserable. It was horrible. The same things, the same syllabus, dealing with people who are just friendly to your face, and then they're just can take any moment to put you down and move forward, and the jealousy, anger, frustration, envy, anguish, any feelings, I was feeling it all. But why I think it was better, because by this time I had kind of gotten used to it. It was not something out of the ordinary. This is yahi expect karna tha. So around November or December, I got into a relationship with a guy, and it obviously distracted me. Now, I liked him. I really liked him. But more than liking him, I liked the excitement that the relationship brought to my life. After such a, my life was very monotonous for a huge portion of time. From class 11th, my life was just about studying the, boring subjects. It was all about studying and preparing and competition and rat race and jealousy, anger, all these kind of things. So this relationship gave me a dopamine rush. I wanted more and more of that because it was so addicting. So we continued our relationship till about February, and then we broke up. So I was sad, and obviously I was heartbroken, and it felt like I had lost a lot. It felt like I felt devastated. It was not that big of a deal, but it surely felt like that, because the breakup was a loss. But more than the love, it was more about that loss of that excitement, of that thrill, of that dopamine rush, of that adrenaline rush. It was a loss of that fire, that kept me, sane in that boring, hectic studies. To distract myself, I really wanted to go back to gym and work out. At tab tak it was lockdown, so everything was closed. It was frustrating because I had no way to relieve my stress. I had no outlet. The only thing I could think about was that relationship and that breakup, and that I hated my life now, and I didn't want to study, and I just hated these books, and I never wanted to look at these books. And my mom told me that the only way you cannot look at these books is to look at these books for now, study and get through this exam, and then you don't have to look at these books ever again. So I somehow convinced myself that I had to study, and I studied and studied, and around April I got to know that the exam was postponed. I was so annoyed. I just wanted to bang my head against the door and crack my head and skull open because I was so frustrated. Now most people were saying to me, oh, it's good that you got some extra time to prepare. Oh, look at the bright side, you can revise more. I'm I don't need to revise more. I've been revising from class 11th. It has been almost 4 years. I don't want to revise anymore. I just want to give this exam and get this over with, because it's getting on my nerves now. It is going beyond what I can handle. And I'll be honest, I stopped studying. I stopped studying for a couple of weeks because I was the date of the exam was not out. So I was who knows when this exam is going to occur now. So I might as well, stop studying for a while, take a break. The date came around July something, and I started studying rigorously again, revising everything, taking out all the books, revising all the old concepts, redoing all the questions that I had ever gotten wrong. And then the news came out that the exam got postponed again. I was like this penguin. I was I will not study anymore. I will not study. This is too much. I can't take it. this is the end of it. But again, obviously that was not an option. I had to study, and the date came out to be of September 13th. So I was like, okay, let's study, and I'm like, I have to do this, because what if I don't get selected this year? What am I going to say to my parents? Or like, not even parents, what am I going to say to myself? Like, the exam got postponed twice, and I still couldn't do it. I can't say that my concepts were not clear, because like इतने सालों में concepts clear नहीं हुआ तो कब हुआ? I can't say there was like lack of time. I was completely and wholly to be blamed. So like, I was scared that I had to do this. Like, even if I hated it, even if I hated every moment of it, I had to do it. So the last few weeks I focused completely on the diagrams that were there in NCERTs, not just biology NCERT, in all the NCERTs, physics, chemistry and bio. I went through all the tables, especially P block. Oh god, that chapter still gives me nightmares. I didn't really go through notes, because notes में a lot of extra things are given. I didn't really wanted to go through them. So I stuck to my NCERT, to all the highlighted points that I had in NCERT. My reading speed had improved significantly. So I used to just go through the highlighted points. Like, it mostly took me 15 minutes per chapter at most to completely go through each chapter in biology. So like, also there is this like app called NTA Abhyas app. God, if you are someone who is like, oh, I'm looking forward to bombing my confidence, then use this app, because it just bombed my confidence so bad that I was like, maybe this is really not for me. Maybe I should really consider doing anything else but medical. Because like, in my other mock test I was scoring around 500 to 600, but in NTA Abhyas mock test I was just able to score 200 at most. It went like, I have to stop doing this, because if my confidence is not in the right place, there is no way in hell that I'm going to crack this examination. So one day before the exam, I was looking into the mirror. I was like, you can do it, you are meant for this. Tomorrow is going to decide what kind of future you're going to have. Maybe I was not ready last year, maybe I was not ready last year, but this year I am ready. So then next day, it was obviously NEET. I went and gave my exam, fastest and the quickest 3 hours of my life. If you want a video on what my experience was at the exam center, please tell me in the comments below. When the exam was over, I came out. My dad kept on asking me, how much are you going to score? How did it go? How much are you going to score? Are you going to clear it this year? Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to clear it? And I was like, oh my god, let me breathe. So like, I denied answering any questions. I said I'm not going to answer anything and incriminate myself. I felt that the paper went good, but I was not very sure. I did not want to get anyone's hopes up, including mine. Because like, what if I said like my paper went amazing, oh my god, spectacular, and then when I came home and checked, maybe I just scored around 400. So like, I did not want that. So I just said that I don't know. My dad was like, how can you not know? You gave the exam, how can you not know? Moreover, the answer key, unofficial answer key, is going to be out later at night. So I'm going to check it and we're going to see. So I reached home. I literally wanted to tear that paper apart and throw it away. I never wanted to look at it. I was like, even if I don't get selected, whatever it is, I don't want to look at this piece of paper ever again. But again, I couldn't do it, because like, I had to wait till the unofficial answer key by coaching institutes were out to see how much I had scored. So I was just waiting patiently. The toughest 3 hours after my NEET exam was the waiting period. So I think for my set of paper, resonance gave out the key very quickly. It was 10 p.m. at night, and I was just praying to God and hoping that things go good. I remember when I took out the key in my phone, and I had my paper on this side, and I was just checking. My heart was pounding so hard, and it was like I could hear my heartbeat till here. It was like I was feeling dizzy, I was sweating, like I was so anxious, so nervous. The key gave me a score of 615. 600 plus is usually considered safe for getting admission in a government medical college. So I was like, okay, 600 is good. But I also knew that, at least 1 lakh to 2 lakh more people gave exam every year. Moreover, everybody had extra time to prepare. I knew that there's going to be a huge rank inflation. So there was another coaching institute ski out, and it gave me a result of 630. So I was like a little bit more confident. I was like 630 is good. So I might get somewhere. I will get somewhere at least. So then final results came in. I scored 637. I was extremely happy, extremely proud of myself. Like finally I did it. Most people were like, oh, you didn't get it here, you didn't get this college. I was just happy that I'm going to be a doctor. That 5 years from now, I am going to be a doctor. It's going to be Dr. Ishita Banerjee. I knew that I am going to get a government medical college and I am going to be a doctor. It was a very beautiful moment. It like finally so much, tears and sweat and everything gave me something beautiful, made it worth it. So guys, this was my story, my journey. Let me know if you want a part 2 to know what my reaction was, what my parents' reaction was, what my relatives' reaction and my friends' reactions were about the admission thing, my experience with the admission, my experience at going to the college for submitting documents for admission. So let me know if you want a part 2 in the comments below. Also guys, if you like this video, if you relate to my journey, please make sure you give this video a huge thumbs up and make sure you like, comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye.